every time a politician wants to ban guns, there's an explosion in demand to buy guns, right? And so talk about CBDCs really as a marketing event that causes everyone to think about a world where they don't own their own money. And that makes them think, well, what kind of money could I acquire that I would own? And the most censorship-resistant monetary network in the world is Bitcoin. On the other hand, Bitcoin is the one network you can't control. Ted Cruz's famous line is, I like Bitcoin for the same reason the Chinese don't like it. They can't control it.
MicroStrategy Executive Chairman Michael Saylor believes widespread development and enforcement of central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, will have a positive effect on Bitcoin and possibly even drive wider global adoption of the leading cryptocurrency. The American entrepreneur and popular Bitcoin enthusiast recently appeared on the PBD Podcast, where, among other things, he discussed his views on CBDCs and how they could impact the adoption of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Unlike many other crypto investors that have spoken about the impact of central bank-issued digital assets, Saylor says such a move by the United States and other countries will be positive for Bitcoin. During the discussion, Saylor was reacting to statements from U.S. Senator Ted Cruz, who recently warned that a digital dollar and other CBDCs could destroy all value of Bitcoin. While speaking at the Bitcoin Policy Summit late last month, Cruz said, "We see China moving forward with the intention of using a CBDC to destroy all value of Bitcoin, to destroy anonymity, to destroy decentralization." Joe Biden, early in his presidency, issued an executive order directing the Federal Reserve to study creating a CBDC, and the New York branch of the Fed is working on doing exactly that. According to the Atlantic Council's CBDC tracker, more than 100 countries are either researching a CBDC, have already launched one, or are developing one. 11 countries, including Nigeria, Jamaica, and Eastern Caribbean, have fully launched a CBDC. Another 18 are in the pilot phase, and 32 countries, including the United States and Canada, are in the development stage. Project Cedar, the New York Federal Reserve's wholesale CBDC experiment, moved the United States from research into development, according to the Atlantic Council tracker. Cruz believes that CBDCs, which will undoubtedly give governments too much power over citizens, will make people wary of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. He said, "I think that's exceptionally dangerous. I'm very concerned about the risk of a CBDC. The same people that want to see a CBDC hate Bitcoin, and they hate cash." Michael Saylor does not share similar concerns with the Texas senator. In fact, he believes events will play out in a completely different way. For example, Saylor believes that as CBDCs become more popular, giving governments even more power to control more aspects of citizens' lives, people will frantically search for an asset that is completely free from the government's dominance. According to Saylor, that asset is no other than Bitcoin, the world's leading cryptocurrency by market cap. Before we listen to Saylor's interview, please take a little time to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications for more videos like this. Also, ensure you drop your comments and observations about the interview in the comments section. Everything helps with the YouTube algorithm and contributes to our channel's growth. Thanks, and enjoy the video.
Interest in CBDCs is just going to drive more feverish interest in Bitcoin. It's actually driving awareness, and Bitcoin is growing as people become more aware that they need something which is non-sovereign, store of value, nation-state resistant. So, and if there's hyperinflation, people want Bitcoin. That's why they are thinking about Bitcoin in Argentina or in Nigeria or anywhere in Africa right now. If there's moderate inflation, people that are sensitive to it will go for Bitcoin, and then the people that think the inflation will go away will look at it as an oddity. But money is it's a store of value, a unit of account, a medium of exchange, and then there's a fourth characteristic that we don't talk about. It's the thing that's not said. It's a system of control. So certain monies are easier to control than others. For example, we talk about gold as money, but you ever try to carry a gold bar through an airport?
Very heavy.
Try it next time. They won't let you through, right? In fact, if you tried to carry $100,000 of gold through an airport, not only would you not get through, but the assumption would be you're a criminal, you stole the gold, and they would just take it and keep it without a court order. Now, try to carry $100,000 of cash through the airport. You ever try that? Put it in a bag and just, you can put it in a bag, and as you're walking through the TSA check or the X-ray machine, just nonchalantly say to the officer, yeah, I'm carrying $100,000 of money onto the airplane, right? You won't get through. Now, not only will you not get through, they'll just take your money, right? They'll just take it, and the assumption will be you stole it, okay? So cash is a unit of control. Now, put $100,000 in a bank and try to wire it to someone, or just take it out and they're going to ask you why. Tell them it's none of their business. Try to send it to someone privately. Tell them you just want to send it to a numbered Swiss bank account, right? See how that works. That won't work, right? That's a system of control. A couple of stable coins have been getting shut down. Paxos's BUSD got a Wells notice. They got shut down. And Custodia tried to launch a bank, and they wanted to issue AVITs. AVITs were digital dollars, and they were digital dollars that were going to circulate on crypto networks. And the regulators denied that banking license, and it's about a 70-page denial letter, very articulate, and I read it all. I read thousands. I read all of the crypto legislation and all of the crypto litigation. So if you dig into that denial letter, which is very well written and articulate, what is very clear is the regulators say we're not going to allow the bank to form because we don't want someone to issue digital dollars that will circulate on crypto networks non-KYC. Evading our our anti-money laundering rules, our anti-terrorism rules, our know your customer rules. So it's clear that the regulators reject with prejudice the idea that you can circulate large sums of dollars without reporting that. Now, that's a political football, right? Because a lot of people in this country think that you should own your own money and you should have financial privacy and you ought to be able to do what you want with your money.
During the Bitcoin Policy Summit, Wyoming Senator Cynthia Lummis said the reason why regulators in the Treasury Department are so dead set against Bitcoin is because they cannot control it. This is the same standpoint Michael Saylor is sharing. The MicroStrategy executive chairman and former CEO believes government's quest for more form of dominance on citizens will benefit Bitcoin rather than scare investors off the leading crypto asset. In addition, Saylor says the United States government cannot successfully build a working digital currency. In his words, the U.S. government does not know how to build a CBDC. Another problem with the widespread adoption of a CBDC in the U.S., Saylor adds, is the sheer number of people and politicians who are against the government-issued digital asset. Let's get back to Saylor's interview with the PBD Podcast.
There's another group of people that don't agree, right? Ted Cruz is on the side of freedom. You ought to own your own money. Now, it turns out that if your money's in a bank, you're not going to be able to circulate it freely. It's controlled. And on the other hand, Bitcoin is the one network you can't control. Ted Cruz's famous line is, I like Bitcoin for the same reason the Chinese don't like it. They can't control it. Nobody can control Bitcoin. So if you're insecure about being able to own your own money, do you own it? And can you actually use it without asking somebody's permission? Then the solution is not gold. It's not silver coins. It's not stacks of cash. It's not money in a bank in the U.S. It's certainly not money in a bank in Lebanon, Argentina, anywhere in Africa. Those banks won't let you, they won't let you take your money out of the bank. Go look at Nigeria, $42 a day. That's how much you can take out of the bank. They're keeping your money. So the one network that you have that gives you a decent chance of owning your own money and then being able to spend it the way you want is Bitcoin. So I'm not worried about Bitcoin. I do think that there'll be a massive political fight over CBDCs. There's a technical challenge. Our government doesn't know how to issue a CBDC. We don't know how to issue digital currency. The people that are issuing digital dollars are the cryptocurrency people, right? Paxos knows how to issue a digital dollar, right? And the regulators sent him a Wells notice saying, shut it down. So the private market knows how to issue digital dollars. The government doesn't. The EU doesn't. The feds don't. And so even if they wanted to, they can't technically right now without somebody else's help. But as long as Congress is split, right, it seems to me quite clear there's a large faction, by the way, on the Democratic and the Republican side. I mean, Robert F. Kennedy, I don't think is in favor of a CBDC, nor is Ron DeSantis in favor of a CBDC. I don't think that politically it's going to fly in the near term. And in the next 2 to 4 years, I don't see consensus at the political level to impose a CBDC. But I think it's like that persistent boogeyman where people say, oh, it's coming, and the result is more interest in the antidote to it. So I don't think it's bad for Bitcoin. I think it's good for Bitcoin. I do think we ought to be concerned about money being used as a system of control. Is very disturbing.
Instead of being only worried about CBDC, Saylor says to be worried about the government's ability to use money as a tool to subjugate the people. And what better way to show concern than by inoculating yourself against their plans with Bitcoin? Investing in the leading crypto assets will ensure you have something else to fall back on when governments begin to cancel people for the tiniest offenses, such as having dissenting opinions, very much like what China is already doing. What are your thoughts on Michael Saylor's interview and his views on CBDCs? Please drop your comments and observations in the comments section below. Also, ensure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notifications bell for more videos like this. Thanks for watching.